So, map number 1 of a best of 5. My Insanity looking pretty happy with themselves. Milking ESL for a grand total of 450 euros today. So, that's good for them. Of course, which player it goes to, that's what you have to remain to find out. But down in the south of Polar Night, we have got the blue Terran player. Representing My Insanity, Jjakji, who isn't yet pulling a second SCV for an 11-11. His opponent to the north, the red Protoss, also representing My Insanity, none other than Stardust. In terms of how these two got here, well, I just saw an amazing, an incredible, a spectacular series between Jjakji and Snoot. Stardust, I haven't actually been able to catch any of his games so far this evening. Let me bring up the bracket so I can at least find out where he went and how he got there. So, Stardust was... he took out Lilakinen, Zanster, and Ascending to get here. So, I would argue that maybe he had a slightly easier run to the finals than Jjakji, especially with Snoot. Snoot could definitely have made it into the finals. It was so close, that last semi-final. Anyway, for the moment, this game, what's going on? Well, we do have barracks being made, no gases yet, so it should just be an expansion coming out pretty quick from Jjakji. Meanwhile, Snoot, Stardust has got down a gateway and 1 gas, so a very normal opening out of him. Of course, the important thing to be massively aware of is that these two are teammates. They live in the same friggin' house, and as such, they know each other's playstyle probably very well. They are very aware that, actually, they've got some go-to builds. They know what they've been practicing recently. They know how things should work. And therefore, team kill situations can always be exceptionally exciting because you tend to see people trying to do unusual things to catch their teammate off guard. Not the norm. And that's always exciting to see. So, for the moment, things are looking pretty standard. We've got Jjakji expanding. He's going to go and probably Engineering Bay block this. Or he very well may. Yeah, there we go. So, doesn't want an expansion coming down from Stardust. Otherwise, Mothership Core coming down. Everything looking pretty safe. 1 probe died there. Poor probe. Moment of sadness for the entire Terran race. Otherwise, yeah, this is pretty standard stuff. The Engineering Bay block is annoying. Of course, you cancel the production of the Engineering Bay just before it completes. So then it takes a lot of time to kill it off. And just before it dies, you cancel it to get a lot of those resources back. Stalker already chipping away, being a little bit annoying. Stardust adding in a second gas. Still just sitting with the 1 gate. His natural is going to be delayed. Bunker coming up at the front for Jjakji, making sure that he's nice and safe. Jjakji, of course, is rank 2 in the world currently. And he's toying with... who's he toying with? I forget now. I'll check after this game. But he's bouncing between 1st and 2nd in the world repeatedly. So, always pretty tough. Mothership Core going to try and poke and prod a little bit. May get an SCV kill. Depends how confident it's feeling. A Marine already chipping away at the front. We've got a Stalker poking and prodding with the bunker up. May not get much, but he's already racked up a kill. The Mothership Core also got a kill. That is looking pretty good. And yeah, just being both quite aggressive. 3 barracks worth of production here. Note that the natural base of Stardust is so incredibly late now. This Engineering Bay is ridiculously frustrating. But Stardust is responding to that by teching. He's getting a Stargate down nice and early. So Stardust is still on 1 base. While he's still fractionally up in probes, it does mean that he's slightly oversaturated in his main. And he's got, obviously, no mules to go into his favour as well. Luckily, the natural base is now coming down. Jjakji opting for a concussive shells first. He's also scanning. What does he see with that? Well, he sees the main base. He's going to know, okay, well, there's 2 gas and I don't see anything else. What's going on? That's frustrating. Ideally, you'd want to know that that Stargate was there, because concussive shell is not a good response to a Stargate. At all. Mainly because Marauders can't shoot up. Nexus is about a 1/3 done at the moment. And yeah, this is all still pretty fun times. Oracle coming through. Stardust taking a risk, going for a 3rd Nexus very early, and he's doing this to try and respond to the fact that Jjakji blocked his natural for such a huge period of time. Oracle nearly finished. Stalkers still just being defensive. Two Stalkers poking and prodding. Always irritating. Decent number of Marines out on the field at 12. That can split to 6 at each base. And therefore, you're able to defend as best as possible. 6 Marines beat an Oracle. But the Oracle now coming in. Gonna actually rack up a good number of worker kills here, because for the moment it looks like Jjakji hasn't realised this is coming. Instantly though, starts up a missile turret, but won't get finished. And this Oracle, racking up a good few kills. Counter goes on the missile turret. 6 worker kills in total. That's all quite nice. The Oracle coming back round, gets a 7th one. He's going for the natural base too. There are Marines down here. All the Marines are pulled up to the main. The missile turret is slightly defensive, but this Oracle is doing magic. 9 kills on workers. Fantastic news for him there. In total, Jjakji has killed 12... Sorry, in total, Stardust has killed 12 workers. And Jjakji has only killed 1. So an 11 worker kill lead for the Protoss player at the moment. 55 supply apiece. Jjakji up in army supply though. And while his work count is slightly lower, he does have mules, which levels out the mineral income. And that's the important thing for Jjakji, really. He's not going to be too concerned about his gas income at this stage. So a scan comes down, doesn't see too much else. 2 additional gases, as well as the Twilight Council researching Blink, and Stardust is now going a very Blink-heavy play. Remember though, he does have this 3rd Nexus though. So he's producing 3 probes per cycle, which is pretty high. And as a result, he's got a decent economy. This isn't an all-in or something like that. Jjakji does have Concussive Shell though. And Concussive Shell is incredibly potent up against Stalkers, because obviously it stops him being able to kite the infantry. What Jjakji doesn't have though yet is any sign of medevacs. He's got a starport down, but he hasn't actually started producing anything from it yet. So this is mainly to bait out a photon overcharge. The mothership core though is in the main base with 200 energy. He may try and do more with it. He's got a decent amount of stuff, but stims would have to be used very... stims would have to be used very cautiously. Got already an engagement coming in. Couple of sentries die fast. 3 sentries get taken down, and if Jjakji backed out now, it'd be a good amount of damage. He's going for the probe line. The Nexus getting focused. The mothership core frantically trying to get down here. A few more Stalkers die too. The Oracle focusing down onto those Marines. It gets killed though. Photon overcharge being used, but Jjakji committing to this push. He got up a couple more worker kills, another 6, but still not as many as his opponent has killed so far. The Widowmine though gets a nice detonation, kills a Stalker. But remember, even though the probes have died, Stardust does still have that 3rd Nexus, and Jjakji is unaware of it. And this is problematic, because Jjakji's going to sit there and go, ha, that was some good damage. Picked up a lot of stuff, killed a couple of sentries. His economy's going to be hurting now. But with a 3rd Nexus, it's not really hurting. Stardust is still in a good spot. He's actually ahead economically, even when you factor in mules. So the first medevac's now coming over for Jjakji. He's got the +1 infantry attack nearly finished. He should add in the armory shortly and the 2nd engineering bay if he wants to get the 2-1 upgrades going steady. But for the moment, Jjakji is just being a bit more aggressive. Pushing on in. Remember, Concussive Shells being very potent, and now Jjakji finds the 3rd. This is what he was looking for. Or he wasn't looking for, this is what he needed to see. So he knows the 3rd base is up. And this gives him a bit more of a taste of what's happening. He doesn't have his own 3rd command center started yet, so he's a long way behind in getting a 3rd out. And that means that he's got to be aggressive. He's got to punish this greedy play from Stardust. Otherwise, he himself is going to get behind. From Stardust's perspective, things are good. He's getting photon cannons down at his main and his 3rd to make sure they're a bit more secure. He's lost a couple of probes, but he did good damage with the Oracle. He's just got to make sure that this 3rd Nexus stays up. Widowmine's burrowing in a nice spot. The 2 detonations go down, and they are massive hits. At least one of them was. Hitting off a lot of shields. Concussive Shells working nicely. The 4 medevacs, 5, 6 medevacs now, healing up this infantry well. The Concussive Shells kiting the Stalkers, and Zealots effectively. These Zealots do not have charge either, so they can't close up the distance. Stimmed infantry with medevac support beats gateway units alone. Stardust needs some splash damage, especially with these Widow Mines about to come off cooldown again. More Widow Mines coming through, they're burrowing up, the detonation's now going through. Some nice hits, the Nexus falls, GG's called, and Jjakji takes game number 1 of this best of 5 final.